Hi, my name's Abe Van Melle, and I'm the Technical Manager for the Canadian Beef Centre of Excellence and the Resident Butcher. Today we'd like to look at the roast category and discuss how we can grow that category. I think it comes down to making the roast category more friendly for your consumer. The consumers are looking for certain things, whether it be price point or how the roast looks. The symmetry of the roast is very important. These are some of the things that we're going to showcase and hopefully show you some value-added methods of making that roast a little bit more attractive as well. So let's get started. There's basically two kinds of roasts that you'll generally find in most meat cases. There's oven roasts and pot roasts, and we're going to look at both of these. Today we're going to look at the inside and present some of the roasts that we can do as oven roasts out of the inside muscle. And we're also going to look at the cross rib. And this has got the pot roasting or braising potential. This is a shortcut clod, and this is how you order it from the packer. When we process this into roasts, they're going to be pot roasts, and the pot roasts are called cross rib roasts. And I'll begin by taking the product out of the bag. There's a couple of sections that I'm going to remove from the clod before I get started making the roast. There's a bit of a short rib muscle that's here. Everything's on natural seams, so I'll find that natural seam and remove that section. Removing a little bit of what's a boneless short rib from this section. The two sections that I've removed, it's really important that they're utilized properly by the butcher. They make excellent stew, and stew is a demand pull product, and it's something that a lot of people are looking for. So you'll get the best value in terms of utilization by using these two sections for stewing meat in your counter. Now I'm going to proceed to make some stew with this and just remove some of the silver skin and some of the excess fat. It's important to maximize yield out of your product when you're processing it, and some of the things that you're going to get out of the clod are things like this stew. The stew should be nice and lean, and there should be cooking instructions on the stew for the customer, as there should be for all of the products that you're selling, especially in the roast category. There's basically two kinds of roasts or styles of roasts that you'll find in most meat departments. One is an open face roast, and one is a rotisserie style roast. Today we're going to profile and talk about the attributes of the rotisserie style roast and why it's probably a better option for most customers. At this point I'm going to start trimming the clod to get it ready for roasts. Okay. I'll turn it over and remove some of the excess fat off of the back. One of the methods of creating roasts is to create an open face roast, and that's simply by taking the whole primal, tying it, and then cutting across like this. The most difficult thing about an open face roast is the size of the roast in terms of the symmetry. And this is fairly large, and it's going to be very difficult and challenging for a customer to carve this after it's been cooked. The roast itself will not cook evenly. It's not really consumer friendly, and it's a little bit expensive for the customer. So it becomes a little bit daunting when they try and cook a roast like this. Okay, the next section that I'm going to profile is hip inside round. The hip inside round is a little bit more tender than cross rib, so it has a different cooking potential. In this case, we're going to make oven roasts out of it, and they're going to be rotisserie style and a little bit smaller so that we get a real good price point for our customer. First of all, this is the inside round out of the package, and I'm going to show you how to create an open face roast out of it as well as a rotisserie roast. Again, the open face roast is a traditional way of putting it into your case, and it has some challenges for the customer. Let's look at that first. Okay, I'm going to start by trimming off some of the excess fat off of the outside, and let's start by making a cut to create our open face roast. As you can see, the grain is running this way. So as a butcher, to tell our customer how to carve it, we'll tie across the grain. At this point, I'm ready to cut my open face roast. With these open-face roasts, you can see that there's probably going to be some challenges in terms of both case presentation and challenges for the customer when they purchase this and cook it. It's going to be very difficult to get even slices across the grain. The strings are telling the customer how to slice it, and that's all good. But as you get down to this end, it's very tapered and small, so it would be very difficult to get even doneness in terms of the cooking potential. Okay, as you can see, this roast, when I priced it out, is just about $25. That's a fairly expensive roast, and it might deter a customer purchase. The next product that I want to process out of the inside round is a rotisserie style roast and a few different kinds of rotisserie style roasts. Hopefully we'll get a better price point and a more consumer friendly product for the customer when they purchase this product. Let's proceed. Let's get started by creating a roast. We want these to be as even as possible, so these are ready to be trussed. So we've got consistent grain direction. It's running this direction, so we're going to tie it across the grain and get it ready for the counter. What we've got here is one of the simplest roasts that you can manufacture. It's got consistent grain, it's even in terms of the symmetry of the product, and it's going to cook even for the customer. And we've achieved a really good price point for this as well. And when it is carved, it's going to be more manageable for carving. This product can be easily manufactured into a value-added product, and to create value for the customer, it's just roll it into some Montreal steak spice. With this style roast and seasoning it, we're charging $20 a kilo instead of $14.99 a kilo. We've got a roast that's more even in terms of the symmetry of the roast. It's going to cook more even. The price point is $12.60 instead of $25. That's going to create more demand pull by the customer, and they'll have more success when they cook this product. I'd like to use this particular roast to create a different kind of product, a value-added product, and I'm going to use this beef bacon that I have here and utilize that into the product. That's going to create a different flavor profile. It's going to create a little bit more drama for the consumer in terms of what that product looks like, and create an eye appeal that will probably create impulse sales with this product. Let's get started by putting the bacon on top of the roast. Roast is now ready to be trussed. We've created a value-added product that is going to be unbelievably tasty, and it's going to be a real winner in your roast beef category. An important consideration after you've processed your roast is what do you do with the end cuts? We showed you that with the shoulder clod and the cross rib we made stew. Well, we can create another product with the end cuts off of the inside round, and that would be stir fry pieces. So we've got some of these end pieces that we've trimmed off earlier. Trim off some of the excess fat and then slice them into thin stir fry pieces. I'd like to thank you for joining me today to look at the roast category. Hopefully some of the things that we showed you today will help you grow that category.